So the values part of Hustle and Play is central. Values are central to our lives. And we think of our lives like a garden. The values are both the roots that grow everything that we have and the food that we feed it. So I'll talk about what I mean by that in a second. But first, I want to distinguish the two kinds of values that we talk about in Hustle and Play and that you've probably heard about in your life. And those are core values and what we call manifestation values. You might have heard of manifestation values as aspirational values. They're very similar. So core values, this is on the left-hand side of your book in front of you, are your root system. Everything that you have in your life, your relationships, your projects, your hobbies, your work, everything that you see blooming in your life is a result of your values, including your weeds and your patterns and things that don't serve you. Those all have value roots as well. And so we want to give love and attention to our core values because we can rest on them. They're almost unconscious. We do want to name them because I think it is powerful to be explicit, to understand what our core values are. This is fundamental to who we all are, and they are individual, right? My core values are going to be quite different than yours, and maybe there's some overlap, and that's how relationships form, right? And so we spend some time differentiating our core values from our manifestation values. And our manifestation values are the values for the person that we are becoming. These are not core values yet. These are not roots in our garden growing things yet. They are new values of the type of person that we are becoming, who we want to be, values that we aspire to embody. And then hopefully by the end of the year, they do have little roots in our garden and they are growing things because we've been diligently tending to them all year long. And so we are going to run a year long or many months long, depending on when you're starting, experiment with these manifestation values, and it is wonderfully juicy, right? And it's not always going to be easy because if it was, then they wouldn't be aspirational, right? They would already be core values. And so manifestation values are a part of how we challenge ourselves all year, how we look in the mirror, how we understand, well, why aren't they core values yet? Why does this show me parts of my life that I need to work on? It's exciting, it's a long process, and so the process of figuring out what your manifestation values are is a process of elimination. And so I want you to go step by step through the activity that's laid out on these pages. And it is a process of reflecting and highlighting values that you've named and putting them on sticky notes. I go a little crazy with this. You do not need to go crazy. But the point is that you want to feel confident with the manifestation values that you land on, because later down the line, you might be like, this is hard. Like, why did I pick them? And then you can come back and look and remind yourself, oh yeah, I went through a whole process to land here. I want to explore these manifestation values, because you are going to name them every month, every week. You are going to ask yourself questions about them in your reflections. You're going to talk about them with people in your life. They are going to know what they are and probably reflect them back to you. You're going to have an acronym at the end of it. You know, you really do connect to these manifestation values as a piece of you by the end of the year. And so this activity, these set of pages, can take you 30 minutes. It could take you 4 hours, depending on how hard you want to go with it. Again, we do cover this in much more depth and detail in the weekly watering course in the community garden. So if you are signed up, you should be able to access that pretty easily. We spend an hour just on this section. We spend an hour on each activity in this, or in these early pages, for this reason, because it's our soul pouring out, and we are going to dive into all that these values can offer us over a long period of time. So we don't want to rush, right? So good luck. Have fun going through all the steps of this activity. It's been refined and refined and refined and adapted from lots of other organizations. And so this is a really great activity that's going to land you in a really solid place with 3 manifestation values. Please do not do more than that. You won't be able to keep it straight in your head. You won't be able to focus on it in activities and really reflect on it. Once we get down to more than 3, things get a little confusing. So, and people get mad at me about that, but just trust me on this. I've been doing this a while. So, good luck, have fun, and I hope you have a wonderful journey with your manifestation values.